All right, welcome to Stop Selling Services and Start Selling Outcomes for Aesthetics and Wellness. Let's dive right in. So, let's start with the truth you need to hear. I'm going to tell you why your $99 Botox special is quietly killing your business. First off, most aesthetic and wellness businesses are not failing because of bad service. In fact, most of them have very good service, a lot of the latest equipment, sometimes even a great location. Typically, they're failing because they're marketing tools, not outcomes. And we'll get into more of that later. Your potential clients don't want services. They want certainty that you will help them, that you help them achieve the goal that they're trying to accomplish. You help them achieve the transformation they're trying to go through. Today, we're going to flip the script so that clients can see the real value you offer and will actually be excited to pay more. So if you're really serious about growing this year, let's shut down Instagram, let's silence the phone, and for about the next 30 minutes or so, you're going to get real, practical insights you can literally use this week to help grow your business. Before we dive in, who am I? Why am I even into this? So I have over 15 years in digital marketing. For the last 4 years or so, I've been focusing on aesthetics and wellness businesses entirely. And I really love marketing. I love wellness. And I really want to help you grow without all the guesswork because there is a lot of guesswork involved in the marketing side of this. So who is this for? If you're sick of competing with the $99 Groupon med spa down the street, this is for you. If you're tired of hearing, I need to think about it, or that's just a bit too expensive, this is also for you. If you want to raise your prices without feeling guilty and without having much pushback, this is also for you. And if you just want to attract clients who say, that's exactly what I need, that's exactly what I'm looking for, stay tuned. So, why does marketing feel broken right now? Here's the question we ask. What's the biggest frustration you have with your current marketing or offers? A lot of times we hear, I'm dealing with too many price shoppers, bargain hunters. I'm getting leads, but they just aren't booking or they're not coming in or not showing up. Our ads aren't working, or no one knows what makes us different. So they have a hard time differentiating themselves from all the competition. And we know there's a lot of competition out there. So let's dive into what the real problem is here. The real problem we see a lot of the time is that you're not selling transformation, you're just selling tools. When I say tools, I mean you're selling Botox, you're selling microneedling, you're selling facials. Clients want results. They don't want the tool that gets them the results, right? One of the famous lines, I'm sure some of you have heard before, if nobody buys a drill because they want a drill. They buy it because they want a hole in the wall, in the ceiling, wherever they're drilling the hole. Sell the hole, not the drill. Don't sell the tool, sell the transformation. So how do we do that? Here's the opportunity. You can simply just change your messaging to attract different clientele. Simple things like originally, if you're selling, let's say, 3 microneedling sessions for X amount of money, change that to fade acne scars in 90 days. Microneedling is the tool. Fading the acne scars within 90 days is the transformation they're looking for. $10 a Botox unit, $11 a unit. Whatever sale you're running can be changed to naturally smooth skin that still looks like you. Now, we still sometimes put the price in there because that could matter. But in general, we're trying to sell the transformation and not just the Botox or the tool. So how do we tie this into marketing? The second versions that we showed you in both of these, we've used, and they receive about 3 times higher click-through rates and led to a lot more replies like, how do I get started? Instead of questions about pricing or questions about, will this work for XYZ? Because again, we have just changed our messaging to attract a different type of client that is more interested in buying, but also understands the process. So how do we do this with our messaging? This is what we call our full circle marketing messaging. What we really want to do in everything we talk about, from our websites to any type of ads you're running to social media posts, even when you're speaking with clients, is you want to talk about how you get them from point A to point B, and that's going to be your transformation. So most practices will say things like, we offer microneedling, facials, and Botox. Some of the top performing aesthetics or wellness businesses that we work with will say things like, regain confidence, going makeup free again. You could tell the difference before offering a tool versus offering the confidence, makeup free, the transformation they're going after. That's the difference between marketing services and marketing transformation. And that's just one simple example. We'll give you some more. So what's the cost of just staying generic? If you just keep your messaging the way it is, if you don't change anything, say, hey, everyone else is doing it this way, I'm going to do it this way too. What's going to happen is you're going to confuse your clients. You might not even know this is happening because they're just clicking away. And you might understand this is happening because a lot of clients are asking about price or asking questions, not necessarily about how to get started, but about the services, about the tools you're selling, right? They are really most interested in the transformation, as we mentioned. So if they start asking about price or they're not even clicking at all, you know that you're confusing your clients. You also might be explaining the same treatment over and over and over again. This tends to happen when, again, you're trying to sell the tool and you're giving them more information about the tool or the service than the actual transformation they're going through. They don't need to know everything about how the process works. They need to know and be able to trust you that you will get them to the transformation from A to B. You're also going to start attracting more shoppers than serious buyers. This is just kind of what happens because a lot of people, when they see price and they see a tool, that's all their brain is kind of going after. And they're saying, okay, I'm just comparing how many units for here, how many units for here. But realistically, you could have the best deal in the world, but if you don't get them to the point they need to get, they will leave or they won't come again or you won't get any referrals. You could have some of the higher pricing, but if that client knows every single time that they're going to get the desired result, you will get the business. Think about an example of maybe someone you use, like for instance, a plumber or a cleaning service. If a cleaning service comes into your house and they're really cheap and they do a really bad job, you're not going to go back to them, even if they're the best price. If they're a little bit more expensive or even the most expensive, but they do the best job, and every time they're going to show up, every time it's going to be, spick and span clean, you most likely will stick with them longer because they're getting the job done. So it's not always just about the lowest price. So here's just a quick copy case study breakdown to give you guys a few more examples, and feel free to use these. If you're already running some of these specials, you can literally just copy and paste them. So we had a client that was frustrated, said, I'm getting clicks, but no one was booking, which we hear a lot. So what we did is we worked the landing page, we worked their headlines, we worked their call to actions. And then by just using this marketing message adjustment, within about a week, we had 5 leads that booked for microneedling, and they were mentioning the ad by name because they were very clear on what they were trying to do. So before, the client was just selling microneedling $100 off. So 2 things that we don't recommend here. Number one, you're selling the service of microneedling only, the tool, and you're saying $100 off. $100 off what? We don't know. If I say 20%, $100 off, we still need to know roughly what the price is, right? If we don't know, they're just going to ask, or they're just going to leave because they don't know the price and they're a little worried the price is too high. They're always going to think it's a little too high if you don't give them an exact price. So what do we change that to? Very simple. Smooth acne scars and feel confident again in just 3 treatments. Right now, do you want to list the price? You absolutely can, but if you would, we'd put the full price there. That's going to help qualify some people as well, too, right? If some people come in thinking it's going to be a $50 procedure, and you put the price and it's, $249, $349, something like that, it's going to help qualify those people out anyways, and you're going to get rid of those price shoppers right off the bat. So what is the real competitive edge in 2025 if we use this? Pretty simple. Confused clients don't buy. Clear ones buy and at a premium. So what we want to do is strive for clarity over complexity in your messages. Clients don't get excited about a menu of services. No one does. And typically, you don't go to a restaurant and get excited about the menu. You get excited about what the food is on the menu and what it's going to taste like and what that experience is going to be, right? They want results that feels like it's made for them. So they want to feel like you were speaking to them in all of your copy, but also in that sales and consult process, you want to make sure that they feel like this is for me. They're talking to me. This is going to get me where I need to be. And you also just want to remove the noise. There's so much noise going on with social media, with emails, with texts, with WhatsApp, everything's coming in. You want to remove all that noise and you want to lead with the transformation. Again, lead with what they want, and you're going to get much better results that way in everything you do. So, how do we make this transformation tangible? What we want to do is package your promise into something clients can remember. So having a menu of services is great. Everyone has to have services, you have to have prices. But what we want to do is kind of package these things and package what we're promising into something that the clients will be able to remember. A lot of times you could give it a name that's going to signal results, right? It's not just going to be microneedling. We're going to give you some examples of what it can be, some packages. You also want to make sure that your packages, your pricing, your menu of services, or how you're even offering your services has a premium experience. It's not just a menu of services that you're offering, right? When people come in, when they call, when they text, and they ask you, I'm having XYZ issue. You don't just say, cool, we have 3 different types of fillers that can help with that. No, you want to talk about the experience. What is the experience going to like? We're going to come in. First, we're going to take a look. We're going to see, have you had previous filler before? Do we need to dissolve something? If not, we might scan your face. We might take a look to see what's going to leave you natural. We might even offer something else if we feel that filler isn't the best option for you. But we want you to make it feel like it's a premium experience and it's tailored to them, not just another service, which makes you exactly the same as everyone down the road from you. Another thing you could do is build some type of signature solution. Now, a signature solution isn't just a cute name, it's really a brand shortcut. So, some of the examples that I mentioned before would be a GlowUp 360, a confidence reboot, an ageless skin plan. If you notice, none of those are actually telling what the tool is or even what the procedure is, but they're talking about the transformation. They're making it easy to remember, and they're kind of starting to layer in some branding for you so that you can be associated with these examples. When it comes to cool sculpting, when it comes to hydrofacial, when it comes to clinics, these are all actual services that are now thought of as the brand name, right? A lot of people say, hey, I need to blow my nose. Please give me a Kleenex. Well, Kleenex is the brand name, right? It's really a tissue or a facial tissue using. The same has kind of happened with cool sculpting and the same happening with hydrofacial. People come in for a hydrofacial. This is an example where there's been almost a signature solution that has now become the brand name. You want that to happen for some of your signature solutions as well. The name can become the brand. So we've talked about saturated markets a couple times here. We know that this industry is saturated. We know that it seems like every couple months there's a new med spa or solo injector or wellness clinic opening up down the street. So what we want you to do is focus on nailing one core outcome and build your brand around that, right? This is not all you're going to do, but we want to make sure you at least have 1 or 2 of these to understand what your branding is built on. And then you want to frame it as personalized and premium. Always make sure what you're doing is geared towards some type of premium audience. Now, premium doesn't mean highest price. It's a premium experience, right? When you come in, you want to feel like they're listening to me, they're talking to me. This is great. Because again, that's going to turn into referrals, word of mouth, all the things you know. But you also want to make sure you back that premium experience, that personalized experience with proof. And how do you do that? Pretty simple. Before and afters are great. Reviews, showcasing reviews from other clients, making sure you're asking for reviews, and even just stories or like little case studies on what you've built up. All that type of social proof should be listed on your website. All that proof should be listed on your website. You should be putting out in social media. You should be retagging people, reposting things to start building up proof, because a lot of people will come, they will look for what you're offering. They'll see if you're an expert and try to gauge if you're an expert in what you're doing. And then they're going to look for proof to back it up. It's not just looking at an ad and then clicking and buying now. It's looking at an ad, then going to your Instagram, then maybe going to your Facebook page, then maybe leaving, then maybe getting retargeted after a few days, then looking at the ad again, then coming to the website, and then finally booking. It's no longer a linear path or a funnel. People are going and doing their research, and it can be done very fast nowadays. And with AI, it's all becoming even faster. So you don't need to have 10 different offers. You just need to have at least one outcome your dream client can say yes to, and then back it with a lot of proof. Once you get that down, you can move to other offers. We found that when you try to offer too many things, though, it really starts diluting who you are and what you do. I'm not saying that if you are a larger med spa that you can't have other services. You obviously can have tons of services, but when it comes to your branding, when it comes to your marketing, we want to make sure you're nailing those core outcomes. You're making it personalized, you're making it premium, and you're backing it with proof. So let's bring this all full circle. Hopefully, you're not just an aesthetics or wellness business anymore. You are in the business of transformation. I know that's a word we've been saying a lot because it's important. When you market outcomes, not just offers, when you lead with clarity, not clutter and noise, and when you start building trust and backing that trust with proof, not just talking about tools, you'll start to attract the clients who value what you do, not just price shop. That will then lead to higher paying, ready to book leads that will follow, right? So all this works together. There's more parts to this on the sales side and the consultation side, but this is one of the first steps. So remember that $99 Botox special we were talking about at the beginning? This is how you win without having to always discount. Hopefully you understand the difference between just saying $99 Botox and then giving a signature solution You can still say the price and set the price at where it needs to be competitively, but there's a big difference on your messaging, your copying, what you're putting in your ads, what you're putting on your website, even what you're saying to the clients. So we want you to shift from a service seller to an outcome expert. Stop selling the tools. Stop selling the Botox, the microneedling, the facial. Start selling the transformation. Craft and name your signature solution. Even if you start with one, that's fine. Make it premium, make it personalized. Make sure, though, you're using proof to back your outcomes. It's easy to say what you're doing. It's easy to say you've done all this, but if you can't show proof, if you can't give testimonials, if you can't show reviews, if you can't even just show before and afters, which are huge in this industry, it's going to be hard for people to trust what you're saying. So it does have to be backed up. And then take all of this and translate it. Translate into your ad copy if you're writing ads. Translate it into your website messaging, everything from your service pages to your homepage, even your consultations and your sales scripts. Make sure this is flowing through what you're doing. I can guarantee that you're going to see an uptick in not only leads, but conversion, sales, and even people coming back and repeat clients. So I'm happy to take some questions now, and I'd like to know what your biggest takeaway was from today. If you guys want to talk further, even beyond this, I'll stay on a little bit after and answer questions. I'm happy to talk. You can book a free strategy session with me anytime at medspamarketingportal.com. You can also scan this right here, and that will take you there. Thank you guys for your time. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll stay on. Thanks.